Dunk here, and today we're going to go over how you could leverage assets like your Draft Tower NFTs so you can go take opportunities in Web3. Again, if you get value out of the content that I create, you could support me at gary.club/dunk, and that will also get you a social connector account, which is one of my favorite Web3 marketing tools that you could possibly get. Go ahead and go to gary.club/dunk to get started. Now we're going to go over to a site called ovals.com. You are going to need to have some sort of Solana compatible wallet. I use Phantom. You can get it at phantom.app. But once you have some Solana and your NFT in that wallet, again, I am using Draft Tower, you're going to go over to this site called ovals.com and connect your wallet. Ovals has its own marketplace. You can get to most parts of it just by going to the apps tab, and you can find the different projects by going to marketplace. And in this case, we're going to search for Draft Tower. And now that we see Draft Tower, there's actually just a pool here. So if I click and expand this pool, there are 10 different Draft Tower NFTs in here. So when somebody deposits Draft Tower NFTs into this pool, they are given Gerto tokens or Draft Tower tokens. So let me just show you how you get those. Go back over to the Apps tab, and then we're going to go down to this tab where it says Fractionalization. We hit Explore. And then what we do is we select the project that we want. In this case, I have something like Draft Tower. If I wanted to turn this into 1,000 Gerto tokens, all that I do is select the asset that I want to put into the pool, and it would actually give me 1,000 tokens. I already have 200 in my wallet right now, but it would give me an additional 1,000 if I convert it. But I'm not going to do this one because this is a little bit rarer of an NFT, and I would never deposit a rare NFT into this pool. So when you're ready, hit convert. There's going to be a small transaction fee, and then they will take this NFT out of your wallet and give you 1,000 of the tokens. But now we can go over to apps and go back over to marketplace. And now again, we can go down to Draft Tower, and then we can go over here to these different marketplaces. I'm going to go over here to the Jupiter swap. Now you could swap between different assets and your Gerto or Draft Tower token that you just claimed. If I had those 1,000 tokens, I only have 200 in my wallet right now, but I could swap them for another asset as long as there is liquidity for the swap. So there are people that provide liquidity for the swap between Draft Tower tokens or Gerto tokens and Solana. So if that pool gets drained, then there will not be any more liquidity to swap Gerto tokens into anything else. But there's always opportunities that you could jump into. For instance, Bonk was recently released on Coinbase, and that caused a huge spike. So what you could do is you could take your Draft Tower NFT, fractionalize it on Ovals, create your Draft Tower token like this, and then you can come here, swap those into Bonk. And just so you know, if you click this little thing where it says split, you open that up, it's going to show you the path that it's actually taking in order to get it into Bonk. So it takes the Draft Tower token, swaps it into Solana in the pool, and then in a combination of BSOL and then regular Sol into Bonk, and then you get your Bonk. Even though there is not a direct pair with Bonk, it uses this path in order to swap your Draft Tower token into Bonk. Now, why would I do something like this? I'll give you an example of what I did earlier. So what I did is I took 800 Draft Tower tokens, I sold them for Bonk, which means there had to be liquidity in the liquidity pool in order to get that liquidity out. And then when Coinbase listed Bonk, the price has gone up. So now if I was going to sell my Bonk, and I get a little over 900 Draft Tower tokens if I swapped back from my Bonk into Draft Tower tokens. But remember, I only put in 800. And remember, none of this is financial advice, but this is something that I was doing. I'm playing around and I swapped a token into Bonk, the price went up, and now I could swap it back into Draft Tower token, and I will effectively have over 100 more tokens than I started with. So this is a way that I could take my draft, fractionalize it on a platform like ovals.com, and then I could take that and go to a swap like the Jupiter swap and swap that Gerto token for something like Bonk or another asset that I believe is going to go up. And in turn, when you take your asset and you send it back over to the Gerto token, that Bonk is going to be turned back into Solana, and then it's going to go through the Orca swap and then turned back into the Gerto tokens. So the Solana will be put back into the pool that people were providing over at Orca. So now when you're going the opposite direction, you can click here and see the path that it takes. Bonk goes into USDC, into Sol, and then Orca puts it back into our Gerto or a Draft Tower token. So now I have more liquidity backing this than I started because the price of Bonk went up. This is a way that you could leverage an asset without actually selling it. If you see this, you might need to sell in chunks because the price impact is too high. But when I do sell this, I'm going to have more tokens, which then I can come back over to Ovals and claim any of the NFTs in this wallet. And if it's the same one that I put in, that I can grab that one. If it's not, I can grab any of the ones that are in this pool. So if I sold right now, I'd be up about 127 Gerto tokens. And what would this do for me? If I did this several times, I could grab another 100 Gerto tokens here, another 100 Gerto tokens here, another 100 Gerto tokens here, and then I could stack them up to 1,000 Gerto tokens and then go back to this pool and claim an additional Draft Tower NFT out of this pool, effectively taking one Draft Tower NFT, leveraging it, and then coming out with potentially 2, or at the very least, I'll be left with some Gerto tokens, which I could still trade. Remember, do your own research, but this is a way that you can leverage an asset that you have, create liquidity without actually letting go of it 100%. As long as you get those 1,000 tokens back, you can always claim a draft out of that pool as long as there's one in there. Now, if by chance all of those NFTs on Ovals are claimed, then you still have your Gerto tokens that you can come over to things like the swap and swap them for even things like Solana. Now, if by chance somebody purchased all the NFTs on Ovals, you still have your Gerto tokens, and you can come back over to a swap like Jupiter, and you could swap your Gerto tokens for things like Solana or any other currency like Gary Coin. So I can go directly from my Gerto token directly into Gary Coin. Now you have another way to leverage an asset in the Gary Club community as well as all of Web3, and this is the point of decentralization. Again, my name is Dunk, and if you would like to support me, you could always do that at gary.club/dunk. And if you want to come hang out with me, you should jump into my Discord server at dunkmedia.club. I can't wait to see you there. Peace out.